Do you know what it really takes to bake up a successful brand? Because let's face it, a great brand isn't just tossed together like a bowl of instant mashed potatoes. It's baked with intention, care, and a whole lot of love. Tie on your aprons, grab your whisk, and let's get into the kitchen to talk about the steps it takes to bake the perfect brand recipe. Welcome to Talk Like a Brand, the podcast where we're serving up fresh insights and strategies to make your brand look as good as it tastes. I'm Peachy Williams, the brand voice builder and your resident brand chef, here to help you cook up unforgettable brands with a side of fun. Whether you're starting from scratch or looking to add new ingredients to the mix, you're in the right place. Grab your headphones, get comfy, and let's get in the kitchen because it's time to serve up some business smarts that'll leave your brand craving for more. Let's get cooking. Now, you can't bake anything, let alone a great brand, without preheating your oven. And this step is all about getting your foundation set before you start mixing things up. You must know your recipe, which is also your brand's blueprint. Because before you start baking, you need a recipe to follow. That means you need to know what's the vision for your brand. What ingredients or resources do you need? And are you baking a quick cornbread muffin or a layered sweet potato pie? I want you to think about Starbucks for a minute. They didn't just decide to sell coffee. They actually built a recipe for creating an entire experience, from the smell of their stores to the names on the cups. You know, you want to set your temperature just right, and that's your brand's tone and voice. Just like the wrong oven temperature can ruin a dish, the wrong tone or voice can throw off your brand. Is your brand warm and approachable like biscuits with honey butter? Or bold and zesty like jalapeno cornbread? Wendy's Twitter account is crazy. I'll say that. But it's a playful, spicy tone, right? But Nike's voice is inspirational and empowering. But both of those brands know exactly the temperature they're working with. And then you want to make sure you gather all the ingredients together, building your toolbox. Flour, eggs, sugar, it's all got to be there before you start baking, right? And the same goes for your brand. So whether it's tools like a logo, website, or social media platforms, make sure your pantry is well stocked. Canva does this brilliantly. They make it easy for small businesses to gather their ingredients with templates for everything from social posts to branding guides. And if you're creative, the sky is the limit. So next, you want to mix the batter because that's where the magic starts to happen. You bring everything together to create something cohesive and delicious. You want to blend in your brand identity. No lumps allowed. That means your logo, colors, fonts, and messaging should all mix together smoothly. No clashing flavors here. So I want you to think of it as the batter for your cornbread dressing. Everything should work in harmony. Target does this well. Their red bullseye logo, consistent store design, and the expect more, pay less tagline, they all blend together perfectly to create a recognizable and cohesive brand. That bullseye, you can't miss it. Then as you're mixing that batter, you want to make sure you season everything just right. And that means adding your brand's unique flavor. Because every great dish and every great brand, it needs a signature twist, right? So maybe it's your storytelling, your design style, or your customer service that makes you stand out. My unique flavor is mixing branding and cooking. Trader Joe's, they also add their handwritten style signs and their product descriptions that make their brand feel approachable and fun. If you've never been to a Trader Joe's, take a trip. Are you ready to ignite your brand and watch it shine? Join Prism, the exclusive membership that gives you the tools to create, brand, and grow like a pro. Whether you're just starting or leveling up, Prism is packed with everything you need to take your brand to the very next level. Join now at bit.ly/Prism now. Your brand's next big move starts here. And then you want to make sure you keep things simple. Don't overmix the batter because it makes the cornbread tough, and overcomplicating your brand can actually confuse your audience. Stick to what matters most and let your core message shine. A great brand to do this is Apple. Their minimal design and clear messaging show that sometimes less is actually more. So once you get all that done, you want to bake and taste test, right? So now it's time to bake it. But here's the thing. Every oven is different and every recipe needs adjustments along the way. So one of the first things you need to do is watch your timing and don't burn out. So whether it's launching a product or growing your audience, timing is key. Don't rush your bake time, but don't leave it in the oven too long. Netflix carefully times their new show releases to align with audience demand, right? And so this way they create buzz while staying relevant. Then you want to make sure you test for doneness. So that means getting feedback from your audience because you're not going to pull the cornbread out of the oven without checking if it's golden brown and cooked through, right? And that's the same thing with your brand. You want to get feedback from your audience to make sure you're hitting the mark. A great brand for this is Spotify. When they launched, they heavily relied on beta testers and user feedback to fine-tune their app before going global. And that was a winner. And so as you are testing for doneness, you want to make sure you can adjust and rebake. So iteration is key because sometimes the first batch isn't perfect. But you know what? As a baker, that's okay. This is your chance to tweak your recipe, adjust your process, and bake it again. Instagram, they started as a location-based check-in app, right? Before pivoting to the photo sharing platform and other things we know today. And that's okay. Pivoting is fine. Just like cornbread, a great brand takes time, care, and the perfect blend of ingredients. From preheating your oven to taste testing your bake, every step matters in creating something irresistible. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, share it with a friend, and tag me on social using hashtag #TalkLikeABrand. And if your brand is already rising, let me know because I'd love to hear what you're cooking up. And until next time, keep mixing, keep creating, keep building, branding, and don't forget, the best brands are baked with love and maybe a little honey butter on the side. Woo!